After Darth Maul's defeat to Obi-Wan during the events of The Phantom Menace, Darth Sidious would travel to Naboo as Supreme Chancellor Palpatine to congratulate Queen Amidala and her allies for their victory over the Trade Federation's droid army. It was here on Naboo where Sidious first learned of Mauls Defeat. While Sidious had the opportunity to learn details of Mauls defeat from the Jedi present on Naboo, Sidious declined any investigation, preferring to not know how Maul was able to successfully defeat a very capable Jedi Master and yet lose to their Jedi Padawan. Interestingly, Sidious's actions seen within the Darth Plagueis novel might show that he took some responsibility for Darth Maul's defeat, being aware in some way his apprentice was prone to hesitating during the moment of victory to taunt his defeated opponent, rather than quickly ending the duel. But there's a reveal within the Legends lore where Sidious actually admitted to his then apprentice Dooku that he made a terrible error in his training of Darth Maul that left him vulnerable during his duel with the Jedi on Naboo, providing an honest insight from Sidious where he took some responsibility for the fate of Maul in Episode 1. This explanation from Sidious is provided in the Legends lore from Dooku's perspective within the novel Labyrinth of Evil, during a lightsaber training session Dooku was having with Grievous. At the time, Dooku was growing increasingly frustrated by the lack of skills Grievous was demonstrating, where the Separatist general was allowing anger to guide his blade rather than creativity and finesse. Although Grievous accepted Dooku's lessons when the Sith Lord corrected him, Dooku still believed Grievous was hopeless. However, Dooku then had to admit that the failings of Grievous weren't the general's alone. Dooku recognized that he was partly to blame as well, and interestingly, Dooku was able to accept this blame because Sidious had revealed to him he made the same error when training Maul. Just as Dooku saw in Grievous, Sidious revealed to his apprentice he made the mistake of believing that rage and fury would be enough for Maul to gain victory, having to learn the hard way that even those consumed and driven by anger could be defeated. Dooku thought he made the same mistake as Sidious twice in his training of Grievous and Asajj Ventress. But Sidious's reveal to Dooku went beyond merely recognizing he trained Maul to be too reliant on his rage. He also believed his error involved training Maul to be far too driven by a desire to excel, to be the best and ensure nothing stopped the Sith from executing their grand plan to destroy the Republic and Jedi. As Sidious would express countless times to Maul, he trained him solely to be his instrument, whereas Sidious and Dooku would come to realize it was best to allow their apprentices, including Maul, to become instruments of the dark side. Looking at Darth Maul's training implemented by Sidious, it's easy to see how Sidious would come to this conclusion. Maul's earliest years on Mustafar saw him undergo brutal training sessions that would result in countless broken bones and having to face elements he feared the most, with Maul eventually attending the elite academy on Orsis that trained assassins, mercenaries, and those who fought within gladiatorial arenas. His final test, before being welcomed into the Order of the Sith Lords and given the title of Darth, saw Maul undergo 14 days of grueling physical tests by Sidious, where he would duel training droids in lightsaber combat, navigate through dangerous mazes and obstacle courses, and forced to go long periods without food and endure extreme temperatures. This was all before Maul would then spend an additional month on the planet of Hypori, where he would defend himself against a fleet of assassin droids with only a single survival pack. It was here where Maul would discover the true extent of his rage for the first time and earn his place within the Sith Order. As Plagueis and Sidious would even remark when observing a training session Maul was taking part in, Sidious ensured that Maul was both fearsome and fearless. While his training would be the catalyst for much of Maul's rage and fury, his determination to prove himself against the Jedi also assisted this process, with Plagueis and Sidious further tapping into Maul's rage and restlessness by having him endure situations such as witnessing an attack on the Jedi Temple, while he was forced to hold back. All of this ensured that when Maul finally confronted Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in lightsaber combat, he viewed it as his ultimate test that made all those that preceded it trivial. Driven by his rage and a desire for vengeance against the Jedi, he wanted nothing more than to destroy his two enemies and prove how valuable he was to Darth Sidious. Even before Maul's defeat on Naboo, Sidious started becoming alarmed when evidence began emerging that Maul's training might have been resulting in mistakes during his missions. When he made Maul admit he hesitated in dispatching the leader of a criminal organization named Alexei Garin, Sidious was furious and tried to explain how important it was to not draw out the moment of victory and stay focused when facing those strong in the Force, a mistake Sidious even attempted to discuss with Plagueis. But through the reveal made by Dooku, Sidious saw the true mistakes he made in training Darth Maul following his defeat on Naboo. Sidious recognized that anger and fury alone wasn't enough and could be defeated, with control during important moments also having value, which should be noted was also a lesson going back to the teachings of Darth Bane. The combination of training Maul to be an instrument driven by anger and to develop a desire to excel and be the best, particularly in relation to the Jedi, was ultimately viewed as an error by Sidious after Episode 1. So there we have it, how Sidious revealed the mistakes he made when training Darth Maul to Dooku. Thank you very much to all of the Patreon members of Star Wars Reading Club, as your support is so greatly appreciated. You can find all of our social media links and a link to our Star Wars gaming channel in the description below, for updates and even more Star Wars content. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for trying to get it right the second time.